Hello people, I am Sky Demolisher and welcome to another From the Collection Fridays, a series where I take something from my collection and show it to you, my viewers. And this week it is my WeiJiang Devastator figure. I don't know the pronunciation properly because I don't actually speak Chinese, which is probably pretty evident, but I think the pronunciation is one of those. It is a third-party transformer, which is pretty evident from the lack of Decepticon insignia up the front here, which is generally what you see on the first-party stuff. And I got it from Mohawk Toys online, which is a New Zealand site. I'll leave a link down below. They cover anime, film, Transformers, and other geek and anime related stuff, comic book related stuff. Very, very well priced for the New Zealand market, and I highly recommend checking them out. Now this figure, if I zoom out a bit and pan down, it is quite a large figure. So if you're looking at the height of this guy, he is probably roughly 15 inches to the top of his head, and probably around 17 inches to the top of the scoops on the arms. So he is a very large combiner. He is bigger than the Hasbro and Takara Combiner Wars figures. So I will hopefully add a photo in that shows him in comparison to at least one of them here. And unlike the Hasbro Combiner Wars stuff, this Devastator does actually have individual weapons that can be hidden inside the Gestalt form. Now I'm not going to take him apart and I'm not going to transform any of the parts because I got him to be formed into Devastator. And it would take quite some time to pull it all apart and put it back together, and you get the idea. Out of the pack, all of them come in their vehicle modes, so it is pretty easy to get it set up as Devastator pretty quickly. Now, if I zoom into this bit, talking about the weapons, if you open up this canopy, you can find one of the hidden weapons in here. So you just pull out the front barrel area and pull out the little handle, and then you've got your first weapon, which is hooks. Now it's probably not going to show up very well on the camera. I've tried multiple times, but there's little notches here. So those notches line up with tiny little slots inside the canopy area, so that it's all held together when you put them like that. Now if I just zoom out that little bit there, you'll be able to see that he's got the shoulder swivel, and there is a bit of in and out action with that. There is some articulation at the elbow where it swivels and turns, but these lower parts are also held on by a sort of swivel joint thing, so if you turn them too far, like one way, that part of the arm will pop off. But all you need to do is slot it back into the hole and, you know, flip it through. Hopefully that's in shot. Yep. It does have articulated fingers, so each joint has articulation there, and you can splay the fingers slightly, which helps when he's holding his sword weapon, which is hooks. Sorry, given the size of this guy, it's not that hard to put him out of balance. So you will have to be aware of that. Good, he's going to hold that. The front chest piece pulls off as well. It's got 2 little slot holes there, which correspond to 2 little ports on the front of hook there. And if I move that up, and then hopefully this gives. There we go. Some of this unbalancing stuff is probably my fault because of how I've got them set up. Whoops, there goes an arm. Murphy's Law, right? But at least that gives you an idea. Sorry if I get it in the shot. That's how they slot in. Very much like the Combiner Wars slots for their Gestalts. He does have a bit of articulation at the waist and stuff. Actually, I'll do that now. So you can see the arm swivel there. Whoops, there goes the other arm off. Luckily, it's very easy to slot the arms and stuff back in. There is a little bit of knee swivel here and stuff, or a bit higher up there. But it does give you a little bit of articulation there, and then there's hip articulation, all that sort of stuff. And if I give you the backside shot there, hopefully it works. You can see the face of one of the Constructicons, and hidden away in this one is another one of the weapons. So, actually, there's 2 of them there. There's one here in the back of the leg. Sorry, 3. There's one here in the bottom of Mixmaster, and there's one up here for long haul. So you can actually see how well they've incorporated those weapons into the figure. There we go. Now he's got a stand. So when not extended, Hook's long arm will look like that. It has a bend here and a smaller bend down here with working little hydraulic pistons, so they extend, and when fully extended out you pull this bit out, and you can put the hook down if you want, you don't have to. It works as somewhat like a sword that goes into his hand. Now unfortunately, at least with my one, it's very hard to keep him balanced when he's holding it. So I will not put it in his hands for you to see. But there should be images online where you can see it. And all that. Now, as you would have seen when I panned down, this isn't on the Lazy Susan. It's because I think his weight is too much for it, and I'm worried about breaking it if he happens to topple. And as I've already shown you, he's pretty easy to unbalance, and unfortunately when he goes, he goes. But hopefully I can get the sound right. I don't know if that shows up, but that barrel will spin for Mixmaster, and it's also got stuff in there so it gives a rattle as it turns. So all around, I think this is a brilliant figure. I'll scroll back up for you. I'm very pleased with it. I think in total it cost about $120 New Zealand, so it's not super expensive. I think the Devastator set was $200 or $300 here. So this is a cheaper version of it, and I believe smaller version. But that's not too bad. Obviously, if I scroll up here to his head isn't cartoon accurate, but it is very close to the comic book character version of Devastator. And like for the windows and stuff, they've used this clear orange plastic. So I think it's a brilliant figure. Certainly keep your eye out for one if you missed out on Devastator when Devastator was released in New Zealand. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I apologise profusely for him falling apart and losing balance and stuff, so it looks very unprofessional, but that just happens sometimes, doesn't it? So I hope you've enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe. Perhaps share it with your friends if you think they're into this kind of thing, which is more things in the collection and not me making a mess of myself. But let's face it, it's going to keep happening. Murphy's Law rules all in this. So until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye.